Several months ago, I reviewed a handful of crypto interest accounts and decided that Celsius Network was my top choice for earning passive income in cryptocurrency. However, Nexo was a close second with comparable rates and similar features, so I mentioned that I'd be keeping an eye on it to see if it was ever worth revisiting. Since then, Nexo has brought a lot of improvements and new features to the platform, so it's time to put Celsius and Nexo head-to-head for an in-depth comparison. We'll start by comparing the interest rates on each platform, which is probably the core function that most users are looking for. Of course, by earning yield on your crypto assets, you can safely achieve compound growth and passive income with ease, which is why I'm so obsessed with using these types of platforms. We'll also be comparing some of the other core features of each platform, including in-app swaps or trades, crypto-backed loans, and crypto rewards credit cards. Both Celsius and Nexo also offer a native token, so we'll touch on the tokenomics of each to see how they contribute to the respective ecosystems. Ultimately, the platform that's best for you will probably come down to the numbers on all of these products, so I'll wrap up with a summary to help you figure out where you'll earn the absolute most on your crypto. While I have been a pretty loyal Celsius user and don't currently hold any assets on Nexo, I'm committed to remaining neutral and keeping this strictly about the value that each platform provides. I'm not affiliated with or sponsored by either Celsius or Nexo. I just want to figure out where to get the most out of my crypto. So with that said, let's take a look. Up first, and perhaps most importantly, is the interest rates offered by both platforms. The process of earning interest on your crypto is pretty much the same on both Celsius and Nexo. After transferring your crypto assets into the app, you'll immediately and automatically begin earning interest. For Nexo, these payments are made every single day, and on Celsius, payments are made every single week on Mondays. Celsius has no minimums required to start earning on your balance. On the other hand, Nexo does have minimum balance requirements, although they are super low, so it shouldn't stop anyone who is serious about earning on their assets. The supported assets are also pretty similar. Nexo supports 27 assets, which include stablecoins, fiat, and most large cap cryptocurrencies. Celsius currently supports 44 assets, including most of the same, with Avalanche and Solana being added in January 2022 to create a total of 46 supported assets. Most major assets will be found on both platforms, but if you want to earn on things like Luna, Doge, Tron, or BNB, you'll have to choose Nexo. And if you want to earn on assets like Synthetics, 1inch, Aave, Sushi, Wrapped Bitcoin, Uniswap, and many others, you'll have to go with Celsius. Now to get down to the numbers on these assets, both platforms have fairly different structures. And keep in mind, all of these rates are in APY, which accounts for compounding. So the compounding of daily versus weekly payments are already factored into the numbers we're discussing. With Nexo, almost all crypto assets start at a 4% APY base rate. Some exceptions include Doge, which starts at 0%, Nexo, which starts at 7%, as well as Matic, Avalanche, and DOT, which start around 10%. If you choose to hold Nexo tokens in your account, which we'll cover more later, you can earn up to 1% more on your assets. To increase your rates further, you can lock up your tokens from month to month. Most assets will require a 1-month lockup, during which you'll receive an additional 1% APY boost on your balance. Finally, if you choose to earn your interest rewards in Nexo tokens, you'll get paid an extra 2% APY. Unfortunately, this is not available for US residents, so the only option we have is earning in kind, meaning in the same currency that you hold on the platform. This means US residents can earn at most 6% on their cryptocurrency assets, but only by locking up your tokens and holding at least 10% of your portfolio in Nexo, which again, we'll cover more later. The model is similar for stablecoins on Nexo, coming in at a base rate of 8% APY, which can be boosted to 10% when you hold Nexo tokens. There is no option to lock up your tokens for added yield here. Non-US residents can again earn in Nexo tokens for an additional 2% boost, but US residents will be capped at 10% on stablecoins. Furthermore, Nexo will cap your earning potential on Bitcoin, XRP, and Link depending on your portfolio value. After $50,000 in value in any of these assets, your rate will drop from the base 4% rate to just 1%. So anything beyond $50,000 will earn a lower interest rate. You can raise that limit to $75,000, $500,000, or $10 million by moving into higher loyalty tiers, which again will depend on whether you want to allocate to the Nexo token in your portfolio. Celsius, on the other hand, has a much more dynamic model for the rates on each crypto asset. While Nexo provides pretty consistent rates for all assets, Celsius sets the rates depending on what they can get for a given asset from the institutional side. After all, they're using these very assets to generate yield and pay rewards, so they allocate those rewards proportionally to the assets that have the highest demand. However, Celsius rewards are much more straightforward. For example, you can't lock up your tokens for an added boost. What you see is what you get. There is a rewards boost on your assets if you hold Cell token in your account, but to get the boost, you also have to choose to earn your rewards in Cell token, which is not available to US users unless you are an accredited investor. If you are, you can earn up to a 25% increase from the base rate. And to clarify, that means a boost from 8% to 10%, for example, not something like 8 to 33%. All this means is that as a US resident, you will be getting the highest possible rewards on your assets without doing anything, whereas on Nexo, you'll have to check a few other boxes to get the best possible rewards. Celsius currently offers 6.2% APY on Bitcoin, which is lowered to 3.05% on anything beyond 0.25 Bitcoin. They also offer 5.35% on Ethereum, reduced to 3.52% on anything beyond 30 Ethereum. They offer 8.5% on stablecoins, and most other assets fall between 2 and 5%, although there are some exceptions. So if interest rates are the only metric you use to choose between the two platforms, there's reasons for both. As a US resident, you can get the highest possible rates on Bitcoin by using Celsius, but only on the first 0.25 Bitcoin. They also support more assets, and you don't have to worry about buying other tokens or locking up your assets for the best rates. If you have much more than 0.5 Bitcoin, you'll earn more on Nexo until you hit that $50,000 cap on the base tier. At this point, you'll either need to allocate to Nexo token to earn the highest rates, or move the excess back to Celsius. Ultimately, the best option for a Bitcoin holder may be to have some in both platforms. However, you can get higher rates on most other assets on the Nexo platform. You just have to be okay with allocating 10% of your portfolio to the Nexo token and locking up your coins from month to month. Next are the exchange features, as both Nexo and Celsius offer in-app tools to swap from one crypto asset to another. To clarify, this is not purchasing crypto with fiat in-app, as doing so will come with fees from both platforms. Nexo, for example, requires you to wire money in from your bank, which your bank will likely charge you for, and Celsius uses a third party to complete purchases, which comes with percentage fees depending on your method of payment. Neither of these really work for me, which is why I try to do all of my buying on the Gemini Active Trader exchange, linked below and on screen if you want a further explanation. On Nexo, you can swap every supported asset through a variety of market pairs, although swapping Nexo tokens is not available to US users. There are no fees, and you can swap an unlimited amount of assets. When you choose to swap on Nexo, they'll route your potential swap through the top 10 exchanges to find you the best price. When you lock in the swap order, your price will be fixed so that you know exactly what you're receiving for that swap. One of the standout features of the Nexo exchange is that users can get up to 0.5% back on their swaps, paid in Bitcoin, just for exchanging assets. So Nexo is actually paying users to swap crypto, but again, you'll need to be in one of those higher loyalty tiers by holding Nexo tokens to get these benefits. This bonus also maxes out at $100,000 in monthly trade volume, which would equate to $500 in cashback per month. But if you're someone who rebalances their portfolio frequently, this is a great perk to have, and it should help make up for any potential price spreads. Celsius is a little behind in swaps at the moment, as their swap tool is still in a beta stage. If you don't have access now, you'll have to join the waitlist as they continue to activate the feature on more accounts. While most of their supported assets are currently available to swap, swap pairs are still a bit limited and are expected to expand in the future. The unique thing about Celsius is that they are a liquidity provider themselves for many exchanges. Because of this, they can circumvent some of the costs traditionally involved in trading and then offer you the true market price of an asset while almost guaranteeing that there won't be any price spreads. There are also no fees involved, which means you will reliably get the best possible price when you swap there. However, swap volume is currently limited to $25,000 per day, but will be higher if you hold Cell tokens in your account. Unfortunately, I don't have access to Celsius swaps to declare a verdict on this category, but I have seen a lot of users post great results when swapping coins. I think Celsius is in fact able to offer the best possible price for swaps, which is personally my biggest priority. The downside is, it's just not as fleshed out as Nexo's swap feature and has daily limits. Furthermore, if you hold enough Nexo tokens, you may even be able to profit from swapping your crypto every month on their platform. In the long term, I think Celsius will build a superior swapping tool, but for now, as someone who still doesn't have access to the feature, Nexo is technically the better option. Next are crypto-backed loans, which I've personally taken advantage of on Celsius quite a few times now. With these products, you lock up your crypto in exchange for a cash or stablecoin loan, directly proportional to the value of assets you use as collateral. On both platforms, crypto loans come with no fees and near instant approval without credit checks. Furthermore, both have interest-only payments, which means you will only owe the monthly interest payments and no principal repayments. The full principal amount of your loan only needs to be paid back at maturity. And of course, any crypto you use as collateral for loans will not earn any interest. So with loans on these platforms, it's all going to come down to two main metrics: loan to value, or LTV, and the corresponding interest rates. Celsius offers three simple options of 25% LTV, 33% LTV, and 50% LTV on all supported assets, with a minimum loan value of $100. A 25% LTV loan has a 1% interest rate, 33% comes with a 6.95% rate, and the 50% LTV ratio comes with an 8.95% interest rate. If you choose to pay your interest in Cell Token, which is available to all users, you can reduce these rates by 25% down to 0.75%, 5.21%, and 6.71% respectively. Nexo does things a little differently, as it has a maximum allowed LTV ratio for each of the supported assets. Users can choose any LTV ratio below that maximum value, which gives you a little more flexibility in how much you can borrow against your assets. The interest rates owed on these loans will depend on your Nexo loyalty tier. If you hold no Nexo tokens, you'll have to pay 13.9% interest on your loan, regardless of the LTV ratio. With up to 5% of your portfolio in Nexo tokens, the rate drops to 12.9%, again, regardless of LTV ratio. Users with 5 to 10% of their portfolio in Nexo tokens can get a 1.9% rate when the LTV is below 20%. If that LTV is higher, then the rate is 8.9%. Finally, over a 10% allocation to Nexo tokens gets you 0% interest rates when you borrow below a 20% LTV ratio, and a rate of 6.9% for higher LTV ratios. So if you don't want to allocate to the native token on either platform, Celsius definitely wins out here. You'll get access to higher LTV ratios on more assets, all with lower rates. This is particularly attractive for those who want to borrow at the low 1% rate without having to hold the Nexo token. However, if you do want to allocate to the native token, 0% rates at Nexo are really hard to beat, as long as you're also comfortable with keeping your LTV below the 20% mark. Interestingly, Nexo is also letting users borrow against NFTs like CryptoPunks and Bored Ape Yacht Club at a 20% LTV ratio. There's no info on interest rates here, and the minimum NFT value required is $500,000, so it's not really for the average user, but it is cool to see them exploring NFTs as loan collateral. Next up, we have the credit card comparison, which unfortunately isn't a full comparison yet because Celsius still hasn't revealed the details on their upcoming credit card. I've also been on the waitlist for the Nexo card for nearly a year now, and I still don't have access. So I wouldn't get your hopes up quite yet if this is a deciding factor for you, but here's what we do know. The Nexo card offers an instant 2% cashback on all purchases in either Bitcoin or Nexo token. The credit line on your card is directly tied to your portfolio value. So to use this card, you'll need to maintain a balance within your credit line wallet, which is separate from the app's savings wallet. This means you won't earn interest on any assets you use to collateralize your credit line, and that could be a big opportunity cost of using the card. But 2% back in crypto is pretty awesome, especially since you receive it instantly. At this point, we know very little about the Celsius card, but we can speculate that it will operate similarly to the Nexo card in that the crypto assets you use as collateral will determine your credit line amount. Celsius says that users will be able to both earn on their credit card spend, presumably with cashback or crypto back, while also earning rewards on the crypto collateral. This would be absolutely huge because no one else is offering rewards on crypto that you have locked as collateral. Nexo wins by default here since their card is actually available at the moment, but as I said, still hard to get your hands on. 2% back is pretty decent, but you have to consider the opportunity cost of collateral and the rates that you're paying on whatever you borrow. Unless you own Nexo tokens, it's likely that you're paying high interest rates on your credit line. I'm expecting Celsius to reveal some impressive credit card perks soon, but we'll just have to wait and see on that one. Our final comparison comes down to the native tokens of each platform. In just about every category, these tokens play a huge role in how much you can earn or save on each platform. Nexo has lower requirements for token ownership, with their top platinum tier requiring just 10% of your portfolio in Nexo. As we discussed, this will get you the highest possible interest on your crypto with a full 1% APY boost, 0% borrowing rates, and 0.5% cashback when you use the in-app exchange feature. These benefits are made much smaller for the middle loyalty tiers, so in my opinion, it's worth going for that full 10% allocation and platinum tier if you're going to hold Nexo tokens at all. Celsius also has 4 tiers of ownership, but their top platinum tier requires 25% of your portfolio in Cell token. In my opinion, the Cell token isn't as central to the Celsius platform because most users can still get great rates on features without it. The main benefit is earning up to 25% more interest when you choose to earn in Cell Token, but again, that's only for accredited or non-US investors. You'll also be first in line for new features when they launch as a Platinum tier user. The question we each have to decide is whether it's worth allocating to one of these tokens to get those extra rewards. After all, we're going to have to diversify out of other investments to meet those loyalty tier requirements. Both tokens' utility and demand is primarily driven by the in-app benefits. The main reason people buy these tokens is to earn more on their assets. With growing user bases, demand should increase for both tokens over time as people accumulate tokens to meet loyalty tier requirements. Beyond that, each platform is placing additional buying pressure on their native token by buying it off of exchanges to pay users rewards and interest every day or every week. Furthermore, Nexo is currently doing a $100 million buyback program, spending a little over $10 million a month on repurchasing tokens in circulation. These tokens are held in vesting accounts for 12 months, after which time they are released and can be used to pay users interest or execute strategic investments. I like that they're adding some regular buying pressure, and quite a bit of it, but I don't love that they're just pushing tokens into the next year. This is only temporarily reducing circulating supply, and won't have many long-term effects unless they continue to do buybacks for years to come. By the looks of things, this buyback will end in the next several months. On the other hand, Celsius buys and burns tokens every single week. While both platforms go to exchanges to purchase the tokens needed to pay interest rewards, since October 2021, Celsius has been buying and burning an extra 10% of what they need for rewards. This has equated to roughly $250,000 in tokens burned every single week. So while Nexo is temporarily locking up tokens, Celsius is buying them and then permanently removing them from the supply, making Cell Token a deflationary asset. This will definitely have long-term price impacts on the Cell Token, as interest payments compound and there are fewer Cell Tokens available to purchase every week. So between the two, I find Nexo to be much more essential for in-app benefits, but a less attractive investment from the tokenomics side of things. Fortunately, you'll need much less of it to get the most out of the Nexo platform. I see Cell Token as a more attractive investment, but I'm less motivated to buy it for benefits within the platform. In fact, since US users can't earn in Cell Token, there's not much reason for the average user to own it other than as an investment in its own right. Fortunately, users don't have to aim for that 25% loyalty tier to get the most out of the Celsius app, because you can still get the competitive rates on everything with 0% Cell Token ownership. So the question is, should you choose Nexo or Celsius? Obviously, the answer will vary, but here's what I think everyone should consider. Nexo is going to be a great option for large accounts and most altcoins. Most altcoins have a base rate of 4% APY, which beats most of Celsius's rates on these same assets. The base rate for Bitcoin is a little low, but if you have much more than 0.5 Bitcoin, you'll end up earning a higher total interest on your Bitcoin balance because of the interest tier limits on Celsius. Nexo is also much more competitive if you want to hold the Nexo token. With it, assuming you go for the 10% allocation and Platinum tier, you can beat almost all of Celsius's rates on both interest and loans. I also like that the 10% tier is easier to hit than Celsius's 25% Platinum tier, which is a much more reasonable ask for Nexo users. Plus, Nexo's full ecosystem is available to all users, with an asterisk on the credit card, so you can jump right into all of the features immediately. Celsius is going to be a great option for small accounts and casual investors, specifically those holding Bitcoin, Ethereum, and stablecoins. With Celsius, you'll get higher rates on these small balances than on Nexo, and you don't have to hold any other tokens to get them. Celsius is also going to be the better option for the casual borrower, because you don't have to be in any loyalty tier to get 1% loans. It's not quite 0%, but it is very accessible, and that is a big advantage. I think Celsius will eventually also lead in swaps and credit cards, but I can't give them that just yet since the features aren't fully launched. Personally, I've been using Celsius for a long time with no complaints whatsoever, and still think it's one of the best places for beginners to start earning interest on their crypto. They also have unlimited free transfers, whereas Nexo limits you to one free transfer per month unless you're in one of the higher loyalty tiers. Furthermore, I think Celsius wins out in transparency, as the team members are highly communicative with the community and do AMAs every week, both on YouTube and Twitter Spaces. Nexo has made a lot of progress in this area since I first started following them, so it's not a red flag for them by any means, just something I really admire about Celsius and how they do things. However, after doing this comparison, there's no denying that you can get better rates on Nexo in a lot of areas. And for many people, that is the most important thing. I'm slowly working towards accumulating one whole Bitcoin, and as I do, I'll be splitting my balance between Nexo and Celsius to earn the highest possible rates. With this, I'll likely also hold the minimum allocation of Nexo tokens to get the perks that come with them, but nothing more than that. In comparison, I'm dollar cost averaging into Cell Token every week, but that's for the investment potential rather than the benefits in the Celsius ecosystem. So that's my strategy, and I'd love to hear yours, whether you're using one or both of these platforms, if you want to leave me a comment below. And if you're getting started on Celsius or Nexo, be sure to check the links below to get some free Bitcoin when you sign up. These are referral links, so thank you in advance if you choose to use them and support the channel that way. If you want to learn more about the CEL token, be sure to check out my previous video to understand why it's one of my favorite investments right now. I'll see you in the next video.